Doesn't it feel like you've been hearing that more and more these days? Oh, you don't need this game. You don't want this game. We're not even gonna think about making it. Why? Because we know you don't need this game. I don't know where this trend has been coming from, but it does feel like we are losing things and losing games because of just trend chasing. The trajectory of the video game industry right now really does feel like it's just run by suits. It's being run more logical than emotional. You know, you have that feeling emotionally. You feel like the life has been sucked out of something and it just looks like a husk of its former self. You get what I mean? And there's nothing wrong if you want to look at it from a logical standpoint to an emotional standpoint, but if you tend to go all the way to the extremes on both sides, you tend to get complete messes. And the reason I'm making this video is the fact that there was a head of the marketing department in Xbox just coming outright and telling an audience, hey, no one cares about Banjo-Kazooie. Apparently at that time, there was a person on the stage asking people what games do they want to see in the future, what could be unveiled, and someone shouted Banjo-Kazooie, and the marketing dude from Xbox just randomly said no one cares about Banjo-Kazooie. That's just very weird, and it does remind me of another situation with classic WoW. You think you do, but you don't. Here, I'll play the clip right now.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
No. And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't. Remember when you had to like spam cities and say, need a tank, need a tank, need a tank during the Burning Crusade days? You don't remember that because now you just push a button that says go to the dungeon. You don't want to do that. Remember that one bug that really pissed you off that we fixed like 2 years ago? Still there in the past.
Yes, whenever Classic WoW was released, it had long queue times and it was going crazy. Everyone was hyped up and people genuinely thought it was just like a one-time trendy thing to get right back into Classic WoW before Cataclysm and seeing the game through rose-tinted goggles. And people thought that, yeah, it's going to die out, and the dude was correct that it was just like you think you do but you don't. But then you saw that people were adding on to the classic experience and they started doing hardcore WoW where you only have one life on a character, and then you had the seasons of discovery. It really reinvigorated the love that was there for classic WoW. And I can definitely say, as a lot of people can say at the same time, J. Allen Brack, the person that tried to shatter the hearts of millions and actually still ended up announcing Classic WoW, ironically.
Fans of World of Warcraft around the world, we hear you. I am pleased and also a little bit nervous to announce the development of a classic server option for World of Warcraft.
Was wrong. And now we're seeing the same thing happen with Banjo-Kazooie, which is a weird thing because we have Banjo-Kazooie in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So I don't understand why people would say that, oh, they don't want a Banjo-Kazooie game. Banjo-Kazooie had the Nintendo 64 games, and then they had the Xbox 360 game. I don't know if there was a remaster in the middle there. And the Xbox 360 game just completely changed what the character was because also they were trend chasing, and it was one of the stupidest decisions. Things that have died because of trend chasing. The only time that I can say, in my mind, trend chasing help was the Battle Royale trend chasing, because we got Warzone, the Call of Duty Warzone Battle Royale. We even had Apex Legends that actually revived the love for the Titanfall universe because EA tried to screw over Titanfall 2. But these businessmen in the video game industry, they're looking at everything through statistics, and yeah, I understand that they would say, oh my god, the numbers are low compared to our other games, so nobody wants that game. No, that's not what's happening. Whenever you make a single player game, you can't shove into it live service model and it just ruined the whole experience, because they tried doing that once with Suicide Squad, and you can see how they are right now. And currently we are seeing a small renaissance with remakes. We had the Resident Evil remakes, 2, 3, Silent Hill 2 just recently came out. There is a lot of love for remakes, and it shows right now because we also have Metal Gear solid, I don't even know what the triangle version of it, even that shows that people care for that. Will we get a platformer remaster? Who knows? But the love is there for it. There are so many different mascots that have died out because they believe that people no longer care for them. We have had Jak and Daxter die. We've had Banjo-Kazooie die and then revived, and now people saying is dead again. I think these businessmen are just holding on to these IPs and they don't want to let go of them for some damn reason. Why not just sell the IP to a company that will probably make something for it? Why not give the frickin' Banjo-Kazooie title to Nintendo? Let them work on it. They're already still in the platformer market. They're already making all their Mario games, the Legends of Zeldas and stuff like that. So just give them Banjo-Kazooie. Let them do it. No, what do you have? You have businessmen just hoarding these IPs and then drip feeding you small quantities of remasters. I swear to God, how many times are we going to have a Horizon Zero Dawn remaster? How many times are we going to see The Last of Us being remastered? We just recently had Until Dawn being remastered and getting a movie. The movie by itself is a good idea, but remastering it at the same time, a game for PlayStation 4 and 5, it's still weird. Like I said before, this is a mix between emotional and logical. It's understandable that you want a mix of both of these. You can't be an extreme of either side, because then you have these stupid decisions being made out there. You'll have the decision of no one wants the free-to-play Last of Us multiplayer, no one wants the Overwatch campaign. And this is a belief of mine. I don't know if you feel the same way. I think there should be a lessening of the power of businessmen when it comes to these kinds of things. The same idea of loosening the stranglehold that executive producers and stuff like that have on movies and TV shows in order to get what the director's true idea was. And then you have the inputs of the different heads of the people that actually work on the game, instead of just having the top brass looking at it and saying, is this part of the current trend that people care about in this day and age? Because we saw how businessmen ruined video games. We saw the huge ass explosion when it came to loot boxes and how horrible that system was, and the dumbasses that decided to take the card system from mobile free-to-play games and put them on paid games on computers and consoles. Yeah, that was a very fun time, wasn't it? As emotional this rant can be, and as emotional of a standpoint that I can take, there is also trends that we have to pay attention to. We have to sometimes pay attention to the numbers, because the numbers don't lie. If you have a low number, then that means people do not enjoy this. If you have a high number and the high number is being retained over a long period of time, then it shows that you're doing something right. But the logical reasoning will always have an emotional backing to it, that the gamers have these kinds of feelings towards these things. I don't want to sound like a broken record and just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. I just want to say that the people actually making the games have to have a bigger hand in the projects, instead of just having everything be done decision making wise by the businessmen. No, screw that. They have to take the back seat, and they can have a couple of inputs here and there, but the biggest impact should be coming from the game directors, the head of the animations, whatever it is. You cannot have the businessmen, you can have the logical people looking at the statistics at the helm of any studio. And that's the end of the video. Hey, if you enjoyed it, why not like, subscribe, and tell me in the comment section below. Do you think businessmen should have more or less power in video game industry companies? And if you didn't like this video, hey, I'm not going to tell you not to dislike it. You can go right ahead. And I hope to see you here next time. See you.